Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Firebelly Social Show, where I talk with founders and leaders of mission-driven food and beverage brands. And I'm your host, Duncan Alney. So happy to have you along today. Today, we're popping into a heartwarming and inspiring conversation with Belle Sharon. She's the co-founder and president of Belle's Gourmet Popcorn, a brand built on science, love, and some serious flavor. But before we get into it, a huge thanks to our sponsor, Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-driven food and beverage brands grow their communities, build their brands on social, and thrive. We also have Elite Commerce Group and Eric Martindale as a sponsor today, and they drive velocity into Target, Kroger, Whole Foods, Albertsons, Costco, Walmart, Sprouts, and more. And he's one of the most prolific voices on LinkedIn. So thank you to him and to Elite Commerce Group. So with no further ado, let's welcome Belle. She's the brilliant and passionate co-founder of Belle's Gourmet Popcorn. And listen, if you haven't heard about Belle's yet, you need to crawl out from under your rock because they are creating some serious waves. Belle is a mom of two, a wife, a scientist, and an entrepreneur with a PhD in molecular biology and an MBA. Her deep understanding of food science and her desire to influence public health through better-for-you snacking led her to create a popcorn brand with purpose. So she's not only crafting craveable snacks, but also creating a business model that honors motherhood, health, and meaningful work. And their recent rebranding is just the beginning of a larger mission to bring intentionality and joy to every bag. And with no further ado, Belle, welcome to the show.
Hi, Duncan. Thank you so much for this lovely introduction. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, listen, I make it a point to go to the Innovation Awards at Sweets and Snacks, and I was blown away that you guys won 3 out of the top 10 awards.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, phenomenal, and we'll get into that. And it's interesting. I won't diss anyone, but there's a celebrity-backed popcorn company on the floor, just a little bit down the way from you all, and I was trying some of it, and I must have had a look of displeasure or just not like it on my face. And I just happened to come across your husband, and he was like, "Hey, man, you want some water?" And that's how it all started. And then I got to taste it, and I mean, truly an amazing experience. So let's start at the beginning. How did you decide to do this, and how did you take the leap from science to snacks?
Yeah, that sounds very much like Drawer to just notice you and say, "Hey, this guy seems like he might need some help," and I'll approach him. So, I'm glad that you were at the show and
Yes.
tried our product, and that's very exciting. So as you know, I come from a science background. Obviously, I have some business background as well, but I've always been kind of a big nerd. I love science, and what has really drawn me to that field was the passion to impact public health and people's well-being. And I actually was pursuing my PhD as this company was starting. The company was founded in 2017. Drawer, my husband, has a culinary background, and he's also had relationships in big box retail. So we've come across an opportunity to present a popcorn product to these retailers and bring it in front of customers. And it was a really popular product. It was a big success. We've gotten great feedback, and that kind of prompted us to take this a step further. We really realized that there was a gap in the market because most of the gourmet popcorn products that you'd find were in small little shops that were kind of scattered. And we thought, why is this not on every shelf in every retailer? I mean, it's kind of missing from the snack aisle. And so we opened a small commercial kitchen, and Drawer, along with a close friend of his, really have actually built the business from the ground up while I was pursuing my PhD and supporting mostly on the compliance side and a little bit on the creative and branding side of things. And personally, I always say, I mean, aside from being a scientist, I have a big creative side and I love doing creative things. And I really realized that food is kind of like me in that sense. It's a little bit of science and a little bit of art. And so it was a wonderful place for me to kind of merge these two worlds. And when during my PhD, I had my first son. He's now 3 years old, and he has really influenced a lot of my choices moving forward. Becoming a mom has really changed my outlook on what I want to do professionally and how I want to kind of merge family life with work. And it was a big priority for me to be able to be there, to be as present as I want to be in those early years with him. And Belle's has kind of become a path for me to be able to do that while still doing something meaningful professionally.
I mean, you actually hit my next question, which was balancing motherhood and business. And I think that that is inspiring. And you know, my hat's off to you and all the powerful women in this business who aren't willing to compromise anymore. Say, you know what, I'm not going to do one or the other. I'm going to do it all. And
Right.
there's a lot of power in that, and it's inspiring. And my wife's the same way. She has her own business, and it's like, hey, you know, I'm going to do it. I stop at this time. How does that balance work sometimes? It's like, hey, you know, also since your husband's in the business, that makes it a little bit easier because you can split some things up.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, obviously we're a family company and what we do is kind of ingrained in these family values. And for us, the kids and the family comes first. We really try, to be as present for, all of their events and activities and spend time with them. And it's a juggling act. I mean, I can say that every week things shift and change. I try my best to be organized and to kind of plan my time ahead and also to lean on the support of my family. I have an amazing family that live close by and they help us out when they're able. And so it's a fine balance. But we try, we make some compromises and we try our best every day. So.
I mean, I think that the intention makes the difference though, because it's kind of like, hey, you know, whatever is happening that day, this is happening at 4:15. So I know I got to get done at 4. I need transition time. And especially when, you know, you got kids in the single digits, right? It's like those times, probably my favorite years were like 0 to 8. I mean, all the years are great, but
Yes.
and
Yeah.
3 is just such a magical age. I mean, they're taking it all in. And so I love the fact that you're saying, and you know what? I gotta ask, is he part of the tasting crew?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, and we'll probably talk about that more when we discuss the rebranding. But he really was kind of the inspiration and the accelerator, so to speak, for our rebrand. He loves tasting the popcorn. He's now at an age where he can eat that. And so he's definitely a part of it. And he comes. I mean, I bring the kids to the office. We have to get things done. I have an 8-month-old too. He kind of goes wherever I go, and so they get to come here and they get to participate and they get to see things, and it's a blessing. It really is.
I mean, I just can't think of a better way to spend your parts of your childhood where you're thinking about the family business, even though you don't know you're thinking about it, you know, and you're coming up in the world of flavor, in the world of, hey, you know, this is happening and that's happening. That's super cool. And I mean, we wonder sometimes, you know, is our experience with entrepreneurship going to make our kid definitely not want to be an entrepreneur and want to go find a job somewhere where they can clock out? But I think the piece that we try to impress upon our kid's a teenager. It's like, hey, you know, you can control your destiny a little bit more, you know,
Right.
when you're doing your own thing. So um,
Yeah.
that's super cool. And what is his? I gotta ask you before I even ask you your favorite flavor. What is his favorite flavor?
So he really enjoys the matcha latte. Obviously, that's been a big hit, and it's no surprise. But it's kind of has a green tint to it, and he likes that it's green. And he's a big fan of the matcha latte, and he tells everybody about it too. I mean, he's had a little show and tell at school where he brought the popcorn and was telling his friends about it, and it's really fun. So yes, definitely the kind of new and up and coming flavor is his favorite these days.
That's amazing. He's got sophisticated, progressive taste buds. So,
Yes, absolutely.
and I mean, and let's talk a little bit about more about the mission, right? And you wanted to bring science into all of this, and say more about that. What's been your, I guess, your goal or your vision with all of this?
Yeah. So when we started, the goal was, I'd say, I mean, maybe not simple to execute, but pretty simple in the sense that we wanted people to have access to gourmet popcorn. We wanted this product to be in every household in America, and we wanted it to be accessible to everyone. And that is kind of what we were setting out to do. The science piece has always been in the compliance side of things and food safety. And again, I have experience in microbiology, and I kind of enjoy that piece of compliance and keeping our product safe and making sure our product is properly tested and regulated. And that's another piece is if customers buy our product, try our product, we want them to feel confident and we want them to be safe eating it. So that was really the science piece that had come into it. But our goals have shifted a little bit around the rebrand to not only bringing gourmet popcorn to every household in America, but bringing a better for you indulgent gourmet popcorn to every household in America. So making this more innovative, kind of changing some of the traditional things that have been done to bring a healthier product out there. And that's what we've set out to do.
I mean, there's so much popcorn out there, and dare I say, there is such a thing as bad popcorn. There's people that will say there's no such thing as bad popcorn, but I think there is a lot of bad popcorn out there. The taste, the amount of unpopped kernels, the powdery nature of some of the flavoring, some really bad flavors.
Sure.
I think that we needed this. And you're right. I mean, what is the reason why so many gourmet popcorns is it don't go anywhere in terms of distribution? Is it because of just how hard it is to distribute and to sell nationally and to build a brand?
That's certainly a piece of it. Obviously, there are a lot of barriers. We know that the snack aisle is an extremely competitive space. There are a lot of other popcorn manufacturers. Obviously, the economy plays a piece into it. So, how much are people willing to spend on a snack that's popcorn? And so there's definitely barriers to being able to kind of bring this to mass market. And I think part of it too is sometimes things just kind of stay rooted and ingrained in tradition. And a lot of the gourmet popcorn stores that do this, again, they kind of have that same family owned business kind of spirit that we have. But they're content and they're happy with doing what they're doing and we're servicing their local communities. And I think that that's great. For us, we saw a potential, we had a kind of a bigger dream, and we thought, why not take this a step further, and see how far we can go.
That's amazing. I love the concept of setting your own what's the word I'm looking for? You're a trailblazer, and you're saying, you know what, I'm not satisfied with the status quo. When I was at the Innovation Awards, I was sitting in front of a group, and when you won the award, um, everybody was clapping, and everyone was going crazy, and the people behind us were grumpy. And they were saying, well, that's the thing. We used to be able to stay on top of these things. We used to be able to innovate. We can't innovate anymore. We can't get anything done. And I had to look around. It was a very, very large company. And I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, not only are you bringing science to the table and great taste, but your innovation is really fast. Tell us a little bit more about that. I mean, I thought there was no better compliment, frankly, right? To hear
Oh,
this
yeah.
massive company, and sitting behind me, and I look, and they looked at me like, "Why are you looking?" And I said, "Oh, I'm looking for someone." But what's your thoughts on that? Because you obviously innovation is not easy,
Sure.
and you're doing it so fast.
Yeah. We're still a relatively small team, and that I think kind of makes us a bit more agile. We have a wonderful team of people. We've all sat down around the table. We do this regularly where we brainstorm, we talk about what's going on out there. And I think, obviously big companies have a ton of experience and a ton of resources, and they know what they're doing. I mean, they're certainly driving what's happening out there in the market. Um, but when you become so large, it becomes a little bit difficult to kind of contain really what interests and what drives people individually and independently. And I think that that's something that we were able to do when we are listening to our team, when we're listening and connecting more directly with our consumers and with our customers. Then we are able to hear, we're able to see more clearly where things are going, and that it's as simple as our CEO can hop into the kitchen and look at a process and play around with the process, and we're experimenting all the time, and this is again the kind of where the science comes into it. That's what allows us to do this. And obviously we're very driven. We want to be competitive. We want to play in this playing field. And so that means that we're spending a ton of time thinking about the next step and sourcing the right ingredients and getting the right ideas together so that we can make something exciting.
I mean, because it must be very challenging to not only bring something that is amazing to the world, but is also already part of the, kind of the cultural atmosphere or the zeitgeist, right? It's like Dubai chocolate, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So to have a popcorn that is playing in that field, suddenly you have mind share and curiosity from
Yeah.
people.
Yep. Yes, definitely. It's, we keep a close eye on trends, and again, for us being able to develop a product, it's possibly a shorter process than for some of these big companies that have to go through all of these internal hurdles and bureaucracy. Obviously, we've got a set of rules and policies that we follow from a compliance standpoint, but other than that, kind of the sky's the limit. We can experiment and play around with all sorts of different ingredients, and we do that regularly. And obviously, the Dubai chocolate has been a massive trend, and for us, popcorn is just kind of like a blank canvas that you can do anything with. So yeah.
I mean, the Dubai chocolate is a massive trend, and I think that it's interesting with our son and his friends. It's like if they see anything anywhere with Dubai chocolate in it, it's like suddenly we have to buy it.
Yeah.
The premium on Dubai chocolate is phenomenal, right? It's like
Yes.
we bought a 2.5 square inch piece of chocolate in LA, and it was I think $25.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yes. I mean, pistachios are expensive, and then especially nowadays, there's definitely some shortages there too. So, thanks to this trend, but yeah, yeah.
Now you mentioned the rebrand a little while ago. Let's talk a little bit about the rebrand. What sparked that transformation,
Yeah.
and how does the brand reflect your vision now?
Yes. So our popcorn, I mean, it was always meant to kind of elicit happiness and joy in our consumers. And that's, we think that that's just what gourmet popcorn does. But recently we were working on an R&D project for one of our retail partners. And again, being kind of a small family owned business, Drawer had brought home some samples for me to taste, to look at. We were doing some photography with that. And he brings it home and he kind of puts it on the counter. We look at it, we talk about it, and then my 3-year-old rushes in and he like snatches it out off of the counter, and we say, "Oh no, honey, you don't want to eat this. Like you should not eat this." And kind of a light bulb. We just that us because we realized that artificial dyes, artificial flavors, and it's just not something that we would want to feed to children. Our company is kind of based in family values. We view our team as an extension of our family. We view our consumers as an extension of our family. And if we wouldn't feed this product to our own child, then we surely wouldn't feed it to our consumers. And so we started kind of making the push and brainstorming this rebrand. We've cleaned up our logo. We went ahead and reformulated a lot of our old recipes and have obviously come up with some new and exciting ones that are sitting on a better for you, better ingredients popcorn. And so obviously, this is something that's been in the works. This was a great opportunity to actually capture people's feelings and experience with the rebrand and with our product, and it was a great success. It was a hit, which was extremely validating. I think we now understand that we're on the right path and that we're doing something that even more resonates with who we are and what we want to bring out there for people.
And let me ask you this, is this mission, with, hey, I mean, first of all, I feel you. Putting food inside your body is one of the most intimate things you can do, right? Food or drink. And so when people are consuming your product, it's an important responsibility. And so that must be a lot of pressure too, knowing that and having those values that, hey, I don't want to put anything bad inside anyone's body.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're also hearing there's obviously a lot of talk and a lot of legislation that's coming out recently. There's the so-called MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. That has been, of course, really popular within kind of the mom community too, and it really resonates with us again individually. And so being a food manufacturer, it only made sense for us to kind of evolve and to take the same product that elicits this happiness and this joy and to make it something that people can feel better about consuming, that they can enjoy, more, maybe more carelessly, so to speak. We feel food should just be something without so much fear and concern, but rather just be able to kind of enjoy that.
Yeah, I experienced some sadness recently where I realized that I cannot eat popcorn at the movie theater anymore because I always feel sick later. So I'm like, I'm as much of a part of the tradition of going to the movies. You buy the popcorn, and so my son said we could just bring our own popcorn. We'll hide it,
Yeah,
and so.
yeah,
But
I get it.
I think that what you said is really like the basis of community, though. There's so many parts to it. It's like, hey, we're concerned about your health, but we're not willing to compromise on ingredients or flavor.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And, I talk a lot about family. Our products are, I mean, they're a family of flavors and a family of products. And we've always internally kind of referred to them as having their own unique personality. And as part of this rebrand, when we were sitting together as a team around the conference table and we're talking about the concept of our family company and these values and our unique flavors, the idea of popcorn personalities were born. And I mean, you could probably see this on my screen, and now it's in all of our packaging. Every flavor has its own character. It's making this, I think, even more relatable and approachable for people. We've actually generated a quiz. People can now take a quiz and figure out who's their popcorn personality match. And it's just a way to connect with our consumers and maybe to give them a feeling that we see them. We see them. We want to bring something that resonates with them, and we want them to feel that we're taking responsibility and we're doing it the right way.
There were just a teeny tiny handful of companies at Sweets and Snacks that have gotten to this level of sophistication of like connecting through personalities. And I mean, I commend you on it. It's so because you want to know like, hey, what is my personality, right? I'm going to go to the website. Um, and the other one was El Nacho. And
Okay,
there are tortilla chips. And if you haven't tried them, oh my God, they're so
I'll
good.
have to.
They're so good. The only thing about it is that they're teeny bit on the expensive side. So, but I guess you get what you pay for. So,
Sure. Yeah.
now let me what advice do you have for, for other women who are leaders, especially moms, who are dreaming of launching their business, but they're feeling overwhelmed? What does Belle say to them?
Yeah. Of course, first and foremost, I think they're all doing an amazing job balancing family and career. It's a lot of hard choices that you have to make, and there isn't just a single choice that's right. You have to kind of follow your gut and do what feels right for you, and also know that there's kind of a light at the end of this tunnel. It's challenging, but really what makes people, I think, successful is powering through that, is staying consistent, and at least for me, I think that we don't have, as women and as mothers, I think that we don't have to compromise on our families and on our children. I think there's a way to do both, and I hope that the workforce, there's form to be made in that space, but I command all these women and family people, individuals that are taking this leap, doing their own thing, and all the hard work to make it happen.
So now, I was going to ask you this question, but I got to ask you, what are some of your favorite flavors, and what do you pair them with?
Yeah. So the lemon meringue is definitely one of my favorites. And I ended up being, well, actually this way, I ended up being the Sunny Mayer character. This is me, resonates with me. So I love this flavor. A lot of, I mean, I don't necessarily pair it with anything specific, but, it's just so good on its own. The matcha has been a huge personal favorite. Obviously, we always have kind of a big bag at home. You'd think that being a popcorn manufacturer by now I'd be kind of maybe tired of popcorn, but not so much. Those two are definitely my go-tos these days.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about, what are you excited about? I mean, I feel like you're excited about a lot of things, but what's some things that are coming up that you're excited about?
Yes. So, thankfully, I mean, winning these two awards, the best in show for the matcha latte, and the best salty snacks for the Dubai at Sweets and Snacks, has really created a ton of interest, and it has broken a few barriers for us. So that's really exciting. We're already in conversations with some new retail partners that we've been trying to work with for a long time, and bringing in our own branded products is just an incredible opportunity. We've done a lot of private label projects, and we really are looking forward to actually having our own branded product on shelves. And there's a lot of moving pieces to that. We're building and adding capacity from a manufacturing standpoint, which is very exciting. We're trying to continue to kind of drive and build our marketing and branding strategy to support this growth and distribution, so that people recognize us and they know to look for us in shelves. And obviously, to support all of this growth, we're growing our team. And so one of the ways, in a kind of a personal initiative of mine, we've collaborated and have joined forces with a local university, with UT Dallas, to begin offering students opportunities to take internships or to find employment with our company. We really believe in young folks and young minds that are kind of coming out of school and looking for opportunities, to kind of give them a chance to gain some real world experience and to participate in all of this. So there's so many things that are going on that we're really excited about. And more so, we're really hoping that our consumers are able to get their hands on the product very soon, and hopefully enjoy that sort of guilt-free, in a sense. So
Amazing. Yeah, and for one, wish you all the best with all of this. Now, let me ask you this, so that people know if they want to take their popcorn personality, where do they go to take that?
Yeah, so they can take it on our website. There's a quiz there, and it's linked obviously on our social media pages and stuff like that. So they can take that, and we track. We really look to see again what are some of the trends in our consumers, and what characters turn out to be more popular. Have you taken the quiz, Duncan?
I have taken the quiz, and I am the dill.
So what was your personality?
I'm, it's been a minute since I took it, but could it have been the dill pickle?
Yeah, yeah. So the dill pickle, his personality name is Dylan Relishman, and he was just a really cool guy, very easygoing, loves to hang out with his friends and family, and I yeah. He was definitely one of the popular ones. I think a lot of people were getting Dylan as their popcorn match.
Well, and the funny thing about it is I was recently at a cookout and they had blueberry margaritas and there was a little jug. I think they just put it out for style with pickle juice, just pickle juice. And I was like, I'm gonna put the pickle juice in the margarita, and it was
Okay.
amazing.
That actually sounds good. See, this is how innovation happens at its best. It's Jor and I always laugh that I tell him, in science, I mean, the greatest discoveries have happened by accident, and so so yeah.
So accidents and serendipity, right? And so
Yes.
bellspopcorn.com, everyone, you can take the test and so amazing that you can actually order the popcorn on the website too.
That's right. Yep, our store is live. We've launched it. Obviously, we're ironing some kinks, as with everything, but people can get access to the product through our website. And then, as we're working on distribution, hopefully they'll find it at a store real close to them very soon.
I mean, that popcorn will fly to you, everyone, and it will be worth it, and you'll be so happy. To take it from me, you'll be so happy. There were people that wanted to fight with Dror at the show because, y'all they wanted the whole bag. They wanted to take the whole bag with them, and he was like, "Well, I got a lot of people I got to taste this with.
Yeah.
Why can't I have a bag now?" Well, you can
Yeah.
buy your bag now, everyone. Bell's popcorn. And so, shout out to all the people that have helped along the way and making this such a successful company. Shout out to your husband for supporting you and working so closely together, and for your son, the scientist in the making.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a wonderful team. Obviously, Dror, he's just an incredible entrepreneur, and he's working so hard day in and day out. So he's been a personal inspiration to me, and I know he is for others. And we've built such a close and strong team, again, an extension of our family, and they've been wonderful and a massive piece in driving all of this forward. We've got great retail partners, and then obviously all of this kind of starts and is rooted in our own personal family, and my parents and my brother that have been huge supports for us in making this happen. So we're so grateful to all of them.
You
And
know,
obviously to you for giving us an opportunity
oh
to
no, of course, yeah.
sit and talk about this.
That's
It's so exciting. So
Well, thank you. I mean, that's what drives me is like talking to founders and supporting them, giving them a place to speak their mind in a safe environment too. I want to tell a quick story, or maybe it's an observation. Like when I was hanging out with Roy at the show, I said, "Man, this is amazing. You've done this thing," and he goes, "Oh, it's not me. It's not me at all. It's all my wife." And so what a humble guy. I mean, I would say incisive and humble. He was like,
yeah.
it's like it's all her. I'm just helping make some things happen. So that's the kind of humility that makes the world better.
Yeah, he's definitely that's extremely like him, and he loves and he's happy to give credit to people where credit is due, but it's certainly a team effort. We all play a part in this, in a bigger and a smaller scale, and it's all these moving pieces that kind of make for something successful and hopefully bigger too. So
Well, thank you so much. This has been such a powerful conversation with you, Belle. You're a
yeah, thank
scientist,
you.
founder, mom, the heart behind the brand, and your story is such a great reminder that purpose and passion can actually come together and work out so well. So, hey, everyone, if you want to learn more, take the quiz. and grab 3 bags, no less, 3 bags. Visit bellspopcorn.com. You'll find out what makes their popcorn special and why this family-owned brand is one to watch. And of course, if your brand is ready to make real connections on social, tell your story in a bigger way, firebellymarketing.com can help. And thank you to Eric Martindale and Elite Commerce Group. If you need to grow your brand on Amazon or Retail Velocity, they're the people. Thanks again to Belle. Thank you to all of you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, share this episode. Until next time, I'm Duncan, your host. Keep building, sharing, and snacking with heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Duncan.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.